What if you couldn't fail? Clara Adelena here, Love for Life Academy, in our challenge, Free the Feminine, Find the Soulmate. I see all of you moving, super exciting. Now what if you couldn't fail? What if you're on a journey and there's only one outcome possible? That's you and your soulmate. What if every step on the way brings you closer? That is the mindset I want you to have. Recently I was in the mountains alone with my dog, and I love that kind of challenge, right? It was like my sacred alone time. But after 3 nights of sleeping in my little tent, very low, you really have to go on all fours to get inside, I woke up with a back pain. And I tried to get out of my tent, I managed, but by the time I was in the cold and outside, I could not move. You know that feeling? Your back is just, oh. I could only stand like this. Oh my God. Alone in the mountains. I had my tent, my car, I had everything, but I couldn't move. The first thought that popped into my mind was, my holiday is over, right? I need to get help, people need to somehow drive me down, you know. To me that's disaster, right? I've been so looking forward to that holiday. Was my first thought, my holiday is over. I was walking there around, I couldn't pee because, you know, there was no toilet, I needed to squat to pee. How do you do that if you cannot move? Oh, I couldn't walk, I couldn't pee, I couldn't make my breakfast. Everything was on the ground or in the car, I just couldn't do anything. I tried to take a break, you know, my car is really comfortable. At least get in that comfortable chair. I thought, you know, holding on to everything, the doorway. No, I tried and I was like, ah. And I just was glad I was able to get out again. My holiday was over, was my deep conviction. But then there was a shift, and it was, hey, wait a second, Clara. You're here in one of the most beautiful spots of the earth, Jotunheimen, Norway. You are always loving to be on your own. You love that kind of challenge. Why are you giving up now? What if this just is my holiday? And what if it's going to be all right? And at the time I didn't even think I would be able to get better. I just thought, you know, this is holiday too. Relax. So with that mindset, I continued. This is my holiday. This is part of my holiday. This is what I'm doing this morning, seeing how I can walk again. And with that mindset, I, you know, found my walking sticks. Wasn't too easy. One was lying on the ground, but kind of with my foot, you know, underneath and lifting it up, kind of throwing it in the air with my toes and then catching it with my hand. And of course I failed many times, but then I did it. The other stick was in the car, that was not too bad. So then I had 2 sticks. That gave me something to hold on to. I could now more or less walk, small steps, but I could walk. So I started to walk. It was kind of intuitively and remembering a coaching session I had had just 1 or 2 weeks before for my back. I thought I need to move, I need to make space in my upper back. The problem was in the lower back. But I kind of remembered, yeah, maybe that's the symptom in the lower back, and maybe the problem is in the upper back, which creates too much strain on my lower back. And if I can just make sure it doesn't have to hold so much, you know, all those things just started popping in my mind. And I walked around with my sticks and was doing exercises with my shoulders and my shoulder blades, and slowly things got slightly better. I found a way with the sticks to somehow squat and pee, and, you know, had that relieved, and found a way to make breakfast. It was a whole morning, right? It took me hours, all of it. But that was just it. This was my holiday. I wasn't resisting. what was happening. I was being with it and allowing my creativity to flow with it. And then I discovered, I just want to create some space in that bag. But I couldn't take big steps. But then I kind of discovered I could take sort of lunges forward, which did give a new way of opening up a bit. And so, I explored, I remembered, I discovered. And you know what? Just 2 hours later, I was fine. I was fine. I even took down my tent. Now, I don't know if you've ever taken down a small tent. Every herring is in the ground, and every herring needs to be pulled out from the ground separately, like 20 times. I did it. Then you have to get the sticks out. You have to bend again at the ground to get that long stick. I did it. And actually, it wasn't difficult even anymore. It was amazing. It was a miracle. I was truly amazed. I even picked up my dog, 18 kilogram, and put it in the car. So what did I learn from that? Or what was I reminded of? It wasn't new for me, of course. What was I reminded of? We cannot fail. But we do need to be aware of a few things, right? And that's the theme of today, mindset. Mindset. And I used to get a bit upset about the word, like our thoughts are not that important, are they? It's our feelings, isn't it? I've been working a lot with mindset the last years, and this experience kind of drove it all home and brought it all together. I thought this was pure mindset. And it was way faster than I had ever realized. It isn't that we sit at home and we do our mindset work and then we go out in nature, and then it doesn't work that way. It's in the moment, in the action. I got out of my tent, I couldn't move. That first mindset, my holiday is over. But I was able to catch it. It took me some time, but I was able to catch it. Wait a second. That's a thought, my holiday is over. That's a mindset. And in the moment, I may change it. I may focus on something else. What I did was, this is my holiday. Being with my back and taking care of myself in this beautiful space next to the lake, between the mountains, snow on the tops. This is my holiday. What is different between hiking up a mountain and walking next to the lake? This is my holiday. This is what needs to happen, and that's what mountains are all about and what they teach us, that we do what needs to happen. So that's the mindset that I want to give you. And I know if you make that shift and if you can catch yourself, right, in all those moments that you start thinking, oh, dating doesn't work anyhow, or it will go wrong anyhow, or he's just pretending he likes me, or any of those thoughts that are going on in your mind, I want you to catch them and to shift them. And to be aware of the meaning that's in there, right? My holiday is over. It's a mindset, it's a meaning I give to the situation. This is my holiday is a new meaning. And from there I took different actions, right? And that's so important. It's not a mindset is the thing, and once you have a great mindset, everything is okay. For 2 hours, I was intensely focused, practicing, at the same time keeping my mind open, right? Knowing that if I would get rigid, my back would get more rigid and I would not get better. So it was this balance of super focused, yet super wide open. What wants to happen? And taking actions all the time, every second. Miracle upon miracle, right? I found a huge rock, which was kind of the height that they have for old people who cannot, go through their knees and their hips anymore. So it was the perfect height for me actually to be able to sit on. It was there. Miracle. It even had an iron rod sticking out of it. Where do you find that in the mountains? It was next to a lake, right? Blah, blah, but still. And I could hold on to that rod very, as I eased myself down. But I knew if I sit too long, I'm not going to get better, right? That was so clear to me. So I was taking actions all the time, 2 hours long. And if I needed to do it a whole day, I would have done it a whole day, right? I was lucky that after 2 hours I was fine. But that's how it works. We get lucky when we do it this way. So mindset is 3 things. It's catching that first thought, realizing the meaning in it, right? And then shifting it. Choosing, that's a simple choice. I didn't have any proof, right, that I could be better. I wasn't counting even on getting better. It was simply like, this is my holiday. I'm going to be with it. I'm not going to fight it, but I'm going to do what is needed. That's a new meaning, a new mindset. And from there, I took action upon action upon action. And 2 hours later, I was absolutely fine. What I see in Unleash and Attract, or I sometimes affectionately call it Love Kit, like everything you need for love is in your kit, right? It's just that. We need the magic and the fun that we have been creating the first days, right? We need all of that to get our fire back, to get things moving, to get out of that stuck place. But then it's time to go to this mindset. And once you shift both bring that magic and the feminine back, and you shift your mindset, it is true, you can't fail. And what I see again and again, and it's the same miracle as those 2 hours, women find their partner in 4 weeks. 4. I know it's crazy. But if I tell any doctor or osteopath or whatever that I healed myself in 2 hours from I think lumbago or something is the official word, they're all like, that's impossible, Clara. Yeah, but I did it. Same here. It's impossible, but women do it all the time here. And 4 weeks to kind of meet him, and then suddenly there is. And sometimes they know immediately, sometimes they don't know immediately, but they feel there's something to follow. And then like within 8 weeks, it's like, yeah, we are in a committed place together. Happens again and again. I can't guarantee it, right? Doesn't happen always. I can't guarantee if you're going to make that mindset shift. But I can show it to you, and I can mirror to you your mindset, what you are doing and thinking. And together I can help you clarify and give you that trust, right? To create doubt around those beliefs, like it just isn't possible. If I had had an osteopath next to me on the mountains who would have said, Clara, that's just 3 days, it's nothing you can do about that. Do you think I would have healed myself in those 2 hours? No, right? But luckily I didn't have that person next to me. The only thing I had was my inner wisdom, and that's the wisdom that I make available to you. My deep belief, my experience, my truth, that it's in our hands. You cannot fail. You cannot fail. But it's a shift in focus, it's a shift in meaning, and it's a shift in action. And then miracles happen in your life too. And your soulmate is so much closer than you think. So that's what I want to share here on day 3 of Free the Feminine, Find the Soulmate. It's so feminine, but mindset is absolute a big part of what we do here and what makes the difference. So on this day 3, in the middle of the challenge, we dive right in. And I just want to say a bit about the worksheet today. because by itself, I think you need a bit more explanation, right? So about the worksheet, I want you to kind of be in that, let me say it differently. I want you to be in the mountains, right? And to experience something intense so that you can realize how is my mind responding? What is my immediate conclusion that I don't even question until I do start questioning it? Like my holiday is over, right? That thing. But I cannot bring you into the mountains of dating like that, right? It would be like meeting a man who is truly like, this could be my soulmate. Now, I can do a lot, but I cannot just throw him in your lap like that. Though it's almost like that happens in a program, but that's another thing. But I was thinking about how can I create something that comes close to it. And I had a genius thought, which is the way it works, right? If I focus not on that's a problem, I can do it. But if I focus on there must be a way to make this happen, then I find it. The sun, by the way, is really almost coming out, so sorry for the lighting. So I have this interview with one of those women who met her man. He's now her partner, and they're living together, and they bought a house together and everything. She actually met him on the first date, since she was in my program, which for her was the first date in 6 years. I know it's crazy, but it's the truth. So I want you to listen to that crazy story as I speak to her about her journey through Unleash and Attract. And I want you to listen to it. And that's like bringing you face to face with what you thought is possible is just a very limited part. Something else is possible in our world. It's really bringing you face to face with that, right? She's one of the most honest women I know. When you see her, she's not lying. She's not, I told her what to say. Nothing like that. So I want you to listen to that. And I want you to sit there with that awareness of, hey, this is going to pop thoughts in my mind. And I'm going to catch them. So I have pen and paper next to you. And catch those thoughts. And maybe it's like, this wouldn't work for me. Right? That immediate reflex. Oh, but this wouldn't work for me. Or, she's different. Or, yeah, she's just saying that, but... catch those thoughts. They will be popping up, I guarantee you, because it's such a crazy, shocking story. They will be popping up. Catch them. Write them down. And don't do much with it yet while you're listening. Just writing them down and knowing it's not the truth. And maybe, and it's good to have like a piece of paper with 2 columns, right? And write all of this in the left. And in the right column, maybe it comes while you're watching, but don't force it. The healthy view, the positive mindset, the unstoppable mindset, the I can't fail idea, the this is my holiday mindset, right? And maybe it comes while you're listening. So the first reflex would be, for instance, like, this doesn't happen for me. And then right next to it, like, this could happen to me. This could happen to me, right? That it's something like that. But if that doesn't happen while you're listening, don't worry. It's like 40 minutes, I think. You don't have to listen to all of it. You're very welcome to do it. I think it's an amazing interview. Do. But if you don't have time for the whole 40 minutes, take 15. That would be a good part too. And then the second part, to truly consciously look at what you've been writing in the left-hand side. And in the right-hand side, allow stuff to come up that is more empowering. And you don't have to believe it, right? It's not like, I'm unworthy of love, I'm worthy of love. Yeah, but I don't believe I'm worthy of love. Don't go into that. It's more like, what if that could change? Right? Like, this is my holiday, right? That kind of attitude. There's no arguing with that. There is no saying, this is not my holiday. This is my holiday when I choose it to be. So find a formulation like that. And if that's difficult, then ask in a group. What do you do when you don't know? You ask for help. Ask in a group, write down your negative belief. Ask women to give you ideas of what could be the other side. So that's 1 and 2. And then 3 is, of course, the most important one. Take actions from that new place. If we don't take action immediately, it's nothing. It's a wisp of air. It's one of those balloons in a cartoon, right? It's just something out there, but it doesn't influence the rest of the story. Take action from that space. When this is your holiday, when this is the journey to deal with I feel unworthy, when that is the journey to finding love. Okay, what do I do now then? What do I do now then? And don't say I have to go to find a therapist and do healing sessions for a year and forget about dating until I healed it, right? No. I didn't say I have to go back to my safe home and my safe bed and then take a holiday later, right? I didn't say that. I found something to do in the moment. Right now, on your dating journey, what will you do differently? See, the clouds are coming to help me. So, it's not an easy exercise, but we are here to support you, and you don't have to be perfect. What if you couldn't fail? What if thoughts are now popping up like, oh, this is too complicated, Clara. I don't have time for this. Hey, catch those thoughts. They're not going to bring you any closer to your soulmate, right? What if I can do this? What if it's easier than I think? What if just trying it is good enough? You know, all those could be on the other side. Focus meaning action. I love it that you're listening to it all the way till here. I know it is demanding because it challenges everything about how we have been living, everything about how we've taught. But once you get this, oh my God, the world is open and your soulmate is so close. And if you want further help with it, you know, I do have a program. I can help you further. You don't have to do it alone, but I want you to get what I'm talking about when I'm saying mindset. And I think that's the goal of today, to really start to get that. That's what she's talking about. And then already, you know, what if I can't fail? Once you get what I'm talking about, you can start taking action. So maybe that is getting more help and getting into my program or whatever works for you. But if your mind thinks, oh, I know that mindset work, it doesn't work for me anyhow, right? If that's how you're still thinking, that would be killing any opportunity. No matter how magical you make your dates. So, phew, I was able to bring all of that. Thank you for listening. This will really bring your power back. And I love that, right? I know the world needs women in their power, going for their goals. Become unstoppable. Clara Adelene here at the Love for Life Academy on day 3 of